Hey, how's it going, folks? So it looks to me like I am not getting oil out of my oil injector. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off and take a look at it and probably go ahead and bleed it because I haven't done that yet. I haven't worked on a two-stroke in years and years and years, and I didn't even think about it, especially if it has an oil injector. Most of them I do were pre-mixed. So with the oil injector, you have to make sure all your lines are primed or the air is just going to bubble around. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to pull this cover off and see if I can't bleed this system a little bit and get the air out of it. I'm going to need a paper towel. It's going to make a mess, I'm sure. As usual, doesn't everything? So, that looks like an 8mm to me. Let's find out. There's an 8mm. Let me see. Look at that. Called it. You'll need a smaller one for that. Can we get the drill in there? Yeah, I can get that impact driver in there. Where is it? Okay, that's the only two bolts I see. Oh, yep, it just comes right off. Alright, well, there it is. Alright, so we got a little gasket there. I'll make glue that back on, just so I don't lose it. Oh, okay. Get the air compressor out and clear some of that out. Yeah, there's a whole lot of, looks like just grass. Alright, I'll put you on hold until my air compressor. Okay, we're getting back at it. I was hoping I'd be able to see, I'm just cleaning a little bit of rust up off of this. Because you know that's not going to make things any better. I'm just using 1000 grit sandpaper. That way I'm not taking too much metal off and I still get the rust. Okay. So yeah, it looks like that's, well, let me see. Get the light over there. Yeah, you can kind of see here. I wasn't expecting to see this. I was expecting to see the oil injector right there at the front, but it looks like it's not. It's way down here underneath. So because it's way down here underneath, I'm not quite sure what to do now. I think what I can do is just go ahead and pull this line off and see if it at least is getting oil to the oil injector. And that'll tell me that, and then what I'll probably do is go ahead and prime this line here. You can barely see it, but right there, that little black one. That one is the one that goes up and into the carburetor. So what I may end up having to do is somehow try to feed some oil down into it until it bleeds out the bottom down here. So that ought to be a trick because, like I said, it's way back in there. And I don't want to have to take this whole bike apart just to get to that injector. Right there. Okay, yeah, it goes right there. I mean, you can't really see it, but it's right there. That's where it ends up. So let me get that other light. Where's that other light? There it is. Yeah, you can see it right there. So that's where it goes down into, which tells me this is the oil injector right here. And I might be able, now that I'm looking at it, looks like I might be able to pop it out of there with just a regular old Phillips screwdriver. So, I don't know if I want to try that or not. I think I might just make sure it's getting oil first. I hope that's not too loud on the camera. If it is, I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, it looks like that might just pop right out of there. So, but I think what I'll first do is just make sure the oil's dripping out of this hose right here. Out of this hose. Because it's the one that goes up and into the reservoir tank. So let's just make sure some oil, I disconnect it and the oil comes out. Find my needle nose. Get on the clamp here. Alright, here's a little trick for you guys that I like to use. Whenever I'm pulling off a line and it's full of fluids, I know the other end is at a reservoir or something, what I do is I take a clamp and have it ready to go. So as soon as I pull this line off, and if I see oil coming out of it, I'm just going to crimp it off real quick. And this is a really strong one too, like it hurts your finger. I'm just going to crimp it off so that it doesn't keep leaking oil. You can use it with fuel line, just about anything. So, and if your rubber up here gets done, you just wrap some electrical tape around it. So let's find out. Okay, we're leaking oil. We're good. So there we go. See, clamp it off and it stops leaking. Well, it's not leaking. It didn't stop completely, did it? That means this hose is old. Alright, there it goes. Maybe. Well, it's going slower. Okay, well what that tells us is that we're getting oil to the injector itself. So we can just go ahead and put it back on then. It's not going to do us any good. Sometimes it works, folks. I promise. Especially on gas lines, it works. And newer lines. This line is pretty old and hard. So, alright, let's put the clamp back on. Alright, so that's getting oil down into it. That's not our problem. Screwdriver. The clamp doesn't want to go all the way back on. Alright, you roll a screwdriver. Different flathead, I guess. There we go. Oh, great. I pushed it too far. Well, alright, pull it back off. You know, I'm trying to work around the camera. That's the problem. Let me move it out of the way just a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's get it off there. Just hold it close to my finger for a second. Pull it off. Put it back on. Okay, now let's try to do it again. This time be a little easier, you know? Don't push so hard. There it went. Okay, alright, now we got it back on. kind of messy. Got two-stroke oil everywhere. Dripping out of this case up here. And I'm going to go ahead and get a new spark plug for this also. I keep forgetting about it. I meant to order one yesterday and forgot. And I didn't think about it until just now. But yeah, you new plugs, $5-6, whatever it is. And it's just always good to have. I mean, there's no reason not to do it. You know? I mean, I am going to turn around and probably sell this bike. I don't know anybody off the top of my head that would want it, so it'll probably just be a random person off the internet, but I don't plan on keeping it, not permanently, you know. I'm going to just finish sanding that down. I see some more spots that could use it. And again, this is just 1000 grit sandpaper, so it's not, you know, devastating to the metal. Alright, there we go. Alright, so then that tells me the next thing is probably the this line here that feeds up into the carburetor. It goes down around here and then over and into the carb. That tells me that that line there is probably not getting the oil past it. So the pump, it's the oil injector pump itself could be not pushing it, or just could be that there's oil in there. So there's two ways to address that. I guess the best way to do it is to put oil down and into it, but I'm gonna have to try to find some type of funnel that's small enough to get into that little tiny line or something. 'Cause I mean, it is tiny. Look at it. It's like, here's my finger compared to it, you know. So I don't know how I'm gonna get any kind of funnel into that. Pull it off over on this side. Let me turn that light around so you don't not blinding you. But you can see it goes in. Here, let me stick this over here. Goes in right there. That's it right there with the little brass end on it. So I think what I might do is take that and just let it hang as low as I possibly can and let the bike run for a little bit and see if it starts dripping oil. That way it's the lowest point and oil will be forced down into the tube. So I think I'm going to try that first and we'll see how that plays out. I will get back to you and let you know. Okay folks, I'm not getting anywhere with this. It's definitely getting oil up there now. I let the hose just hang down there and oil, fresh oil started dripping out of it, two-stroke oil started dripping out of it. So I just hooked it all back up and you can look down in the carb and you can see oil getting into the carb. So I'm getting a good fuel mixture. However, I'm still bogging down. I can let it idle all day, but it'll bog down as soon as I give it throttle. So since this is just a little side project that I decided to pick up on a whim for $60, if you notice, I just realized this. There's only one shock in the back. Literally just one shock. So yeah, I just picked it up on a whim for $60. So I'm not too worried about it. What I do want to do right now though is get my dad's Yamaha Virago up on the lift and start working on it a little bit. It won't take long. It's just some carbs and I have to change. We lost the keys for it, so I'm gonna have to change out all the key pieces, and I've already changed out the gas cap. So as you can see now, it has a functioning key, and this key will fit all the other locks also. So see, that works now. The old one, I literally picked the lock with my lockpick set to get it off there, so it was real easy to rake. Just go and popped right open. So took maybe 2-3 seconds. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this one down for now. I just don't know enough about two-strokes, so I don't know why I'm bogging down so bad at throttle. I've taken the carb completely apart and cleaned everything out, so I don't think it has anything to do with the carb. But you know, it could be. It could be that something's locked up in here, you know, and it's not letting it turn. That could be it. So I mean, that's my next step, is to take this off and have a look inside, but I don't want to get into all that. I don't want to make this a major project, you know. This was supposed to be just something quick and fun. So I'm going to take it off the lift, throw it over there in a corner somewhere, and I'll work on it this winter. Right now I'm going to get my dad's Virago up here and play with it a little bit. So, alright, I'll catch you in a little bit.